Everyone is asking the wrong question. People keep asking, can Argentina defend their World Cup? But that's not the real question. The real question is, what if winning the World Cup was the beginning of Argentina's biggest problem? For most teams, lifting the trophy is the finish line. For Argentina, it became the starting line. Because the moment you become world champions, football changes. Opponents stop seeing you as just another team. They study you. They prepare for you. They dream about beating you. Every match becomes their final. Every mistake becomes tomorrow's headline. And suddenly, being the best team in the world becomes the hardest job in football. That is why this video isn't about Lionel Messi. It isn't about tactics, and it isn't about statistics. It's about something far more dangerous. The burden of greatness. Because history has taught us one brutal lesson. Winning a World Cup is difficult. Defending it is even harder. Think about it. How many legendary teams have arrived at a World Cup looking unstoppable, only to disappear when the pressure became heavier than the talent? Football has seen it before. Champions who looked untouchable. Champions who dominated qualification. Champions everyone predicted would lift the trophy again. And then, one bad night changed everything. Not because they suddenly forgot how to play, but because football has one cruel rule. The higher you climb, the smaller your margin for error becomes. And that brings us back to Argentina. On paper, they have almost everything. World-class players, an experienced manager, a squad that understands how to win under pressure, a nation that believes again. From the outside, this looks like the perfect recipe for another World Cup run. But football isn't played on paper. It's played in moments. Moments where one pass is too slow, one touch is too heavy, one decision comes half a second too late. Champions don't usually collapse over 90 minutes. They collapse in 5 unforgettable seconds. And here's where almost everyone misses the real story. People think Argentina's biggest strength is controlling the game, keeping possession, slowing the tempo, making the opponent chase shadows. And they're right. That is exactly what makes Argentina so dangerous. But every strength in football carries a hidden price. Because the more a team depends on controlling the rhythm, the more uncomfortable they become when someone else controls it. Imagine you're driving on a perfectly straight road. Every turn is predictable. Every move feels natural. Then suddenly, the road disappears. That's what knockout football feels like. It doesn't care about your plan. It doesn't care about your reputation. It doesn't even care that you're the defending champions. It only asks one question. Can you survive when the game refuses to follow your script? And that might be Argentina's biggest test in this entire tournament. Not whether they can dominate. We've already seen they can. The real question is, what happens when domination is no longer possible? Because somewhere in this World Cup, there will be a team that refuses to play Argentina's game. A team that presses without fear, runs without stopping, turns every loose ball into a battle. And when that moment arrives, Argentina won't just be playing against 11 players. They'll be playing against something much heavier. The weight of defending greatness. There is a reason. Argentina make football look easy. It isn't because they run faster, or because they have the strongest players. It's because they decide how the match is played. Watch Argentina carefully. They rarely rush. They don't force impossible passes. They don't attack every 10 seconds. Instead, they slow the game down, almost like they're asking their opponents to become impatient. And eventually, most teams do. One player steps out of position. Another presses too early. A defender loses concentration. And suddenly, the space Argentina were waiting for appears. That's not luck. That's control. And for years, it has made them one of the smartest teams in world football. But here's the problem. Control only works when you're the one controlling it. Imagine a chess grandmaster. He doesn't beat you because he's stronger. He beats you because every move happens on his terms. Now imagine, someone walks into the room, flips the chessboard, and turns the game into chaos. Suddenly, intelligence isn't enough. You have to react. You have to improvise. You have to survive. And that's exactly what knockout football does. It flips the board. This is where Argentina become vulnerable, not because their system is weak, because their system is precise. Precision is beautiful. until the game becomes messy. A bad bounce, a misplaced pass, a deflection, a referee's decision, a player slipping at the worst possible moment. Football doesn't always reward the better team. Sometimes it rewards the team that adapts first. And adaptation is very different from control. Think about the teams that cause Argentina the most problems. They're rarely the teams that simply defend. They're the teams that refuse to let Argentina breathe. High pressure, fast transitions, relentless intensity. They don't give Argentina time to think. They don't allow the midfield to settle. They force decisions before Argentina want to make them. And once that rhythm is broken, the entire match feels different. Not because Argentina suddenly become a bad team, but because they are being asked to play someone else's game. This is the hidden tactical flaw, not a weakness in quality, a weakness in comfort. Argentina are at their best when football stays organized, but World Cups have a strange habit. The deeper you go, the less organized they become. The pressure rises, the tackles get harder, the spaces disappear. Every mistake feels twice as expensive, and every minute without a goal adds another layer of tension. This is why defending a World Cup is so difficult. The challenge isn't repeating your football, it's repeating your mentality. Last time, you were chasing history. This time, history is chasing you. Every opponent walks onto the pitch believing one thing: if we beat Argentina, we become part of football history. That's dangerous, because motivation changes matches, sometimes more than tactics ever could. And here's something people rarely talk about. Pressure doesn't always make players worse. Sometimes it makes them safer. Instead of taking the risky pass, they choose the easy one. Instead of attacking the space, they recycle possession. Instead of playing to win, they start playing not to lose. It's almost invisible. The crowd doesn't notice. Commentators barely mention it. But over 90 minutes, those tiny decisions change everything. And that's the real danger. Not fear, not weakness, not even tactics. It's hesitation. Because hesitation is the one thing world champions cannot afford. One extra touch, 1 second too long, one moment where certainty becomes doubt. Against ordinary teams, you recover. Against elite teams, the game is already gone.